Hello, Serious Survivor here. I want to do a quick sound check. I got my mic in sort of an awkward position over here. I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me. Can everybody hear me pretty good tonight? Awesome. Great. Got some really good things to talk about tonight. And we're gonna look at something here in just a little bit, and we're gonna start looking at the new website that is our website. This isn't really my website. This is our website, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about when we start looking at it. Because for so long, I know for me, I got into prepping a long time ago. I got into prepping like 30 years ago, and for so long, it's like prep. Get your food, get your water, get your weapons, get your supplies, get your gear. That's a 308, and it's like get your supplies and your gear. And there's so much talk, there's so much focus on what I do before the event. And of course, we have to have our supplies. We have to have what we need for the event. But the real question is, what do we do after? Where are we going to be 3 months after the grid goes down? Where are we going to be, say 6 months after the grid goes down? And for a lot of people who aren't part of a group, who don't have a lot of people, they're going to be alone. And that's going to be a difficult situation, for a lot of people. And I got to thinking a little while back about why not create a network, why not have a network that we could actually communicate. So at first, originally, 2 or 3 years ago, went on Facebook and joined some of those groups, some of those Facebook groups for preppers and all, and quickly realized that this is going nowhere. This is absolutely going nowhere. So I decided to try to put something together that is going to benefit everyone that wants to use it. And it's going to benefit some people in different ways than others. And when I started putting this website together, I decided, I'm going to take a little more time to incorporate the features, I guess you would say, properly, to do things a little slower, to make sure things work properly and incorporate more and more over time. But I think that everybody's going to like a lot of these features as we start looking at them. So I'm not going to beat around the bush too long. I'm going to share my screen. And what we're going to do first is look at the different aspects of the site. And we'll talk about how this can benefit us in the long term, as well as the short term. And then I'm going to go through a registration process, create a new account so that you can see exactly what you have to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen right here. So let me pull this off and going to share my screen. All right. First thing I want to do is sometimes when I share my screen, my mic goes out. So I want to make sure that everybody can hear me before I go any further. So I just want to make sure that you can hear me. All right. Good. All right. So when I started putting this site together, I was thinking about, there's definitely places out there, there's other sites that have chats, that have forums, that have groups, but I wanted to build something custom, not just custom me, but I wanted to incorporate the ability to customize the site for you. You may want to, talk about different things than someone else. And there's a lot of ability in this site to create groups under certain topics and subjects. And this is also a site because we've seen all of the, all the sites that have been took down. We've seen all the posts that get strikes. I've had a couple of strikes. I've had things removed off Facebook. And I know a lot of people, are experiencing the same thing. Like I think Pinball Preparedness, if you guys know him, I think he got, a YouTube strike a couple weeks ago and his channel was shut down for a few days. So this site, the beauty of this is our site. YouTube doesn't own this site. No one owns this site except for us. So we do have the ability to talk about what we want. But I've also tried to keep the site a little bit, I guess you could say, separated in some aspects to where, different subjects in different areas. So let's just start looking at it. So on the screen right here that I'm sharing, this is the standard home page that you will see if you're logged in. You cannot access this page unless you are a member of the site. Excuse me. That's one layer of the security. The only page, and we'll see this in a minute, the only page a person can access on this site, even if they have a direct link to say your profile page, they cannot get there unless they register and create an account and log in. Now, when you register and create an account, I've got multiple layers of security. Now, those who do it tonight or tomorrow, it's going to be a little easier to create an account, or a little faster, I should say, than it will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and from on, because it's going to be two-factor authentication to log in. For someone to create an account after Monday morning, then they will have to provide both a valid phone number and a valid email address. Okay, the lamb. Yeah, let's talk about that in just a second. Let me get through some of this, and I wouldn't mind hearing what you have to say there. Okay. All right. So, but normally after that, what you're going to see when you go to log in is, a simple login and password, and it's going to have a reCAPTCHA, and it's also going to have a verification. So it's going to send a text message to your phone. And I know that I always like when sites do that. I'm like, man, this is a lot of trouble. But as I'm building this site, I'm realizing that that's a lot of added security too. So I'm trying to keep it as secure as I can. Non-members cannot access anything on this site. So what you put into it is going to be safe. There is nowhere on this site, with the exception of some things that link externally. We'll talk about in a minute. But it's not going to ask for your credit card. It's not even going to ask for your birthday. It's basically your name, and you have to verify with the email address or with your cell phone. Now, once you're in the site, and we're going to register in a minute and go through that process, but I want to look at some of the things first. Once you're in the site, what I'm trying to do with this site is, it's not about money. It's about helping people. And that's what a lot of the resources on this site are going to be geared toward, is actually giving people not just information, but giving people things they need. Like one example for that you'll be seeing a little later on the site is, I'm going to be getting my ham radio license very soon, and I'm going to be a certified instructor. So I will be giving ham radio license classes on this website for anybody that wants to take them, and things like that. I will also be doing, because I have webinar capabilities built into this site to where even anyone can do it, that I can give lectures on, because I'm an electrician, electronics technician. So some basic electronics, some basic electrical things, skills that, normally a lot of times you got to go take a few classes for, but I'm going to go through these and, teach as much as I can. And that door is open for anyone who has a skill that wants to teach, because the more we know, the further you go, the better we'll be in the long run. But this site is going to be excellent for not just finding people in the local area that you can network with, but I'm talking nationwide and worldwide. As of this moment, I'm only technically nationwide, but within about 60 days, I want to take it worldwide. Now, this site, I will be honest straight up front, it's going to rely on membership funding. I don't mean it's going to charge, but any donations will be appreciated to help keep it up and running, because some of the stuff is pretty expensive that we do have to implement. And there will be total transparency on all that. But let's look at some of the options that I've incorporated into it already right here. Now, when you first log in, you're going to come to this page right here. And on this page, it's just a basic page. I'm not really going to read all the text right here, but, a couple of paragraphs talking about what the site is about, that we're a family-oriented site, and that our goal is to make sure that our children don't have to go through what we're going through right now. They don't have to think about what we have to think about is going to happen tomorrow or next month, that they have peace of mind and that they have stability and security. And there's nobody in the world that can give our children and our families stability and security except for us. We're the only ones that can do that. So it is up to us to determine their future. All right, so the first page is just a basic page. As you see, just a basic page, and you can leave a comment on the first page. There are a lot of places that, you can weigh in with your opinion. But across the top, there are several tabs across the top. The first tab is just a simple logout tab. That really is pretty much self-explanatory. The second tab is a settings tab. When I go to the settings tab here and click on it, as soon as my internet agrees with me, a little slow, then it takes me to my profile. This is one of my profiles, and it's fully customizable. And as you can see, I just, as of right now, I don't have a profile picture or a background image up. But on your profile, one thing, difference that I do want to point out is these tabs up top. You'll see groups, friends, messages, notifications, and stuff like that. That's for site-wide. The tabs that you see below your profile picture, these are just for your personal profile. Like, for example, activity is not the world activity feed or the news feed. This is the activity that I have performed so that I can look at what I've done here. And, you can customize it. You can turn your profile on or off, or make it not visible, make it public, private. You can make parts of your profile private. You can make your name private, but leave your picture, or your picture private, leave your name. Make your activity private, but leave your name, however you want to set it up, basically. And all of these are things that you're a part of across the bottom, like groups. If I click on groups here, it's going to show a list of the groups that my profile is, a member of. And, this is a brand new profile. I'm not a member of any groups, but are some of the most important things. And we're going to talk about why here in a minute. So I think your basic profile page is pretty easy. It's pretty standard. There's not really anything there that I think anybody would not expect. Now, you do also have the ability to invite people to the site. If you invite someone to the site, they will get approved quicker than if they're not invited, if that makes sense. Notice beside my name right here, there's this little check mark. What that check mark is a verification, okay? Is a verification. All right. And I'm actually not really live right now with the site. What I'm going to do in a few minutes is I'm going to actually put it live so that everybody will be able to get in it easier. So when we get ready to do a register, I'm going to put it live, and that way we can register at the same time. If everybody, if there's any questions or any problems, we'll solve them at that point. All right. Now, you can also, other than just inviting people, and I really do encourage you, because the more people we get into the group, if we think about numbers, let's think about this. In the groups tab, I've already created, I think about 55 groups, but I've created one group for each state. Now, each of the groups will have a moderator, somebody in charge of that group. So inside of that group, they're able to create, say, several different groups, maybe one for each county, so that people can get closer. You can get with people that are closer to you. One of the really good features that will be implemented by next Friday, because this has taken a little more coding than I expected, but is a Zoom call type of feature. It's not always possible for me to get online here and, 5 or 6 members of the group say, hey, we need to talk about something. Let's meet up. Well, I got to work tonight, or they got to work tonight. We can do a Zoom call right here from this page, and it's part of the site. It's built into the site. So that way we can have conferences, and you actually get to see the people that you're talking to. The docs section right here, docs, this section is just like sounds. This is documentations. Do you want to upload if you've got manuals? And that's one of the big resources that's going to be on this site also, is lots of different types of manuals. And you can upload, if you have a good manual you want to upload it here, make it public, help people out, because that might be just what I was needing to read today. So, that's benefit. Information is power. Information is just as good as some survival gear, because if we know what's going on or know how to fix something, then, we're a step ahead at that point. Excuse me. So the profile is pretty straightforward, Before I go on any further, though, are there any questions about the profile area here? All right. So let's move on. I'm going to go back to the main page. And from the main page, the next one, I'm going to skip over groups, because I want to come back to groups last, because I think that's one of the most important parts of it. All right. I'm going to go right here to friends. And basically, this is straightforward, like you would expect. This is going to show me my friends list. Unfortunately, I don't have no friends, y'all. I ain't got no friends. But if I did, I could, send an instant message, a private message, instant message. I could send a standard email, and you can communicate directly with anyone that's in your friends list right from here. Yes, the page it's fairly mobile friendly. It functions on a mobile phone, but I am going to have to put a little more work into that, Aaron. It does work, and it does work like it's supposed to. It's just not as, I guess you'd say, pretty, on a mobile. But I am working on making that better so that it will, because I know most people use mobile these days. So that's a big thing that I'm definitely going to be working towards. All right, so friends, you can see your friend requests, and I would like to get a couple of opinions. As the administrator, I'm able to do things like restrict, friends request, and right now I've got it set at 3. And what I mean by that is, if somebody sends you a friend request and you reject it, then they can send it again, and then you reject it again. After that third time, they can't send you another friend's request. I think 3 is a pretty good number, but if anybody, I'm all ears on everything. So if anybody thinks another number would work better, just let me know and we'll talk about it. So I figure if somebody sends 3 requests, and you turn them down, they ought to get the hint by then. And by any means, if anybody harasses you on this site, you send an email, you use the report option that's going to be on them. We're not going to put up with that on here. Not like you see on Facebook and some other sites. Because there are going to be kids on here. There are going to be families on here. And we're not on here trying to hurt nobody. Y'all know that. So we're not going to tolerate any type of harassment from somebody. Somebody harasses you, you let me know, and I will handle it. Because that's just not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. Or it's not going to happen more than once. Let's put it like that. All right, so that's pretty straightforward friends list. And then you have your, I'm going to go back to the main page here. And my next one is messages. Now, that's another pretty straightforward one right there, messages. If I go to messages, then it's just going to show me a list of, my most recent messages. And as currently, I have no message. All right, so pretty straightforward. Now, this white area here you see right in the middle, that's just is blank like that because I just haven't uploaded a picture. Once you upload a profile pictures and all, it's going to look a lot better on there for you. Going to look a lot better. The next one over is notifications. I'm inside of my building app right now, so that's why I'm having to click on the main screen every time to go to these so that it doesn't pop up a lot of other stuff. Notifications will be anything from like, somebody posted in a group that you're following. Somebody sent you a friend's request. Somebody sent you an email. You can set these up in your profile. You have your settings down here. You can determine what type of message you get. Jennifer, check your spam. I've noticed because about 4 or 5 of us here at the house signed up today. Most of the time it went to our inbox, but one time my wife's, it went to her spam. So she had to check in there. All right. Yeah, spam. All right. So that's pretty straightforward. And then you have your profile tab, and that's what we were just looking at was our profiles. Activity. Now, when you go to activity, it sounds like that's my activity, but this activity tab up top, I got to click on the right side of the screen. All right. This activity tab up top, this is your main feed. This is your main feed right here. This would be like your news feed, your main homepage. So as you can see, there's not a lot of activity going on right here, but anybody you're friends with, and I'm also, going to be letting, hopefully encouraging like some other businesses, that may want to sign up, other YouTube channels. I really encouraging other YouTube channels, trying to get with some of the channels to sign up so that we can share, and we can just grow the site. Because as the site goes, I guess you could say I got some grand ambitions with it, but they're not for me. They're for us. They're for everybody. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But this is your main feed. This is where all of your subscriptions that you're subscribed to, all of the people that you follow, all that is going to pop up here. And on every page, if I put my cursor on the right page, on every page, you're able to actually narrow it down. Maybe I just want to see new documents that were posted today. Or maybe I want to see if so-and-so fixed that document, edited that document, So you can narrow it down. You don't have to scroll through 100 different things to find what you want. You can narrow it down and find exactly what you want. And you just simply post by, typing in here, hello. And then I post that update. And there we go. I just posted. At this moment, you can favorite it. There is the ability to delete. All right. Now I want to point out the reason that's on there. I'm going to be removing that feature because when people post, you don't want to take it off of the main feed. In groups, you'll be able to do that, but the delete feature, as far as deleting the entire post. Now you can also, I'll show you here, if you want to upload a picture. Let me see if I've got a picture handy. It really is as quick and easy as dragging and dropping. If I can, let me get my screen right again. I'm just going to drag and drop this picture over here, and it'll put the picture in your feed. I'm having to fight on my 2 monitors here, but it'll drop it right in your feed for you. Now, one thing that is going to be added, and it's going to be added as soon as I can, because right now my bandwidth, or our bandwidth, is limited. So once I'm able to increase the bandwidth, then I'll be able to increase people uploading, say, random videos here, of whatever else. All right. The error message, Chris, you're talking about, is it? Let me move this. Is it this one right here? Because I believe everybody's going to see that right now. What that error message is the reCAPTCHA. The reCAPTCHA where you have to check the box to prove you're human. And because I've got the app installed, but it won't work properly until I upgrade to the premium membership. So I'm going to have to upgrade that to that premium membership at some time or another, because I want the reCAPTCHA on there, so that gives us a little bit more verification, or, a little bit more security, I guess you would say. All right. So now going across the top again, our activity feed is going to be one of the main feeds, but there's more feeds than just the activity feed, and we're going to look at those also. This part right here, you'll see one that's called auctions. Auctions. When I click on this auction tab, then as you can see right now, there's nothing on auction right now. But this is going to take you to an auction page. And one of the things that I was considering to try to, because I'm going to have to raise some money to keep the site going, because just saying, it is a little more expensive than I expected. But we're going to be auctioning things off, and anybody who's on the site can participate in these auctions. If you have something that you want to auction, then we'll be able to have auctions. I'm thinking about setting like one night a week that whoever's interested in auctioning, if they've got some items to auction off, then, send me an email or a message on here, and, we'll get everything in the auction. And maybe, like on a Monday, Tuesday night, or whatever nights that we'll do like a poll and see what nights would be better for the auctions. But that's coming a little ways away. I don't think the auctions are a huge feature of it yet. The donate page, this, just to be honest, is to help keep it going. I'm not trying to make no money off y'all, straight up. I just want to keep the site going, and it's a little more expensive. A very simple donate page. You can donate any amount if you feel like it. And if you click on it, it goes straight to PayPal, but it is not set up yet. I have not linked a PayPal account to it, so don't worry about that page right now. All right. The next page over is our feed and resource page right here. Now, what this is Also would like in the comments, I would really like to, if you have some ideas for this page, because the whole goal for this page right here is creating separate feeds. Like, for example, I just threw some random ones up here, like basic survival skills, for example. Now, there's nothing on this page yet because I want to get people's input before I put too much work into the page to make sure that it's topics that we want to talk about. And under the feed and resources section right here, this is where we're going to be able to talk about, to really help people with subjects like, sharing your survival skills, sharing your, knowledge that about, growing food, things like that. Financial, there's a financial section. Some people are really good at managing money. Some other people struggle, and maybe, you could give some tips or some hints, to some people to help them out. This is all a section that is really designed on exactly just to help people on specific subjects, that gives people basically a database that they can go back and read, and it'll help them out, if they needed that, things like home repair. And there's sections in here, for the really controversial, like, some of the political things that people might want to talk about and things like that. All right. So it's, as you can see, it's fairly simple so far. I mean, there's not a ton of features. If we look at, we got a log out, we got our settings feature, which is just for your profile, basically like what you want to make public and not. We're going to come right back to groups. Friends, that's just a list of your friends. There's also a messages section, a notification, profile, activity is your main feed. Auctions, we will be doing auctions later. And that's some of the things that I'm trying to incorporate into the site for everybody's benefit. I have a program or an app that I've also downloaded, but I haven't taken live yet. And this is for your profile page, right? If you sell on eBay, then you could send me a message and I can enable this on your profile page. And what this does is it links all of your eBay products to your profile page. So when people go to your profile page, then, there's a possibility they're going to buy some of your products, for those that sell on eBay. I know I don't so much anymore. I used to sell on eBay a decent amount, but that's going to be tied in together. And that's something that, people can use to their own benefit. One other tab that's not up here, and that tab is called the Members tab. The Members tab is going to be just like it sounds. It's basically going to be a list of all the members who choose to make their profile public. If your profile is not public, you will not show up on the Members tab or under that section. It'll have a search feature, just like right here. You can search the entire site for, keywords or anything like that. All right. You have a box that says request verification. All right. Oh, yeah. All right. I didn't mention that, or I touched on it and then I sort of skipped over it. Let's go back to my profile here. Okay. On your profile, you are going to have a box that does say request verification. Now, what that verification is it gives you access to parts of the site that you're not seeing yet. And what I mean is it's going to give you a higher level of access to the site. And all the request verification does is it sends an email to my administrator account on here, and then I'll approve it, and you become verified, and you'll get the check mark beside your name. And what that'll mean is some areas of the site will be off limits to people who don't want to go through the verification process or don't want to provide their phone number and their email, So some parts of the site will be, I guess you could say, I don't want to say hidden, but sort of restricted to that, because so I do recommend requesting your verification, and I'll be approving all those. I'll probably take a break tonight. I'll probably start back on all that in the morning, but I'll approve all those right away. Like I said, today and tomorrow, because I see the name, I see everybody that's in here tonight, and I feel like I know you guys. I feel like I know y'all, and I think hopefully y'all feel like you know me. So, I feel very comfortable giving you verification so that you can access the entire site. But later on down the line, as the site grows, verification is going to require a little bit more, especially for vendors, because at some point I will have pages set up for people who sell products, but they'll have to provide like their information. That's a situation to which people do provide personal information, but like us just being on the site, we're never going to have to we're never going to have to provide any information we don't want to, because it's just not going to ask about that. All right, so that verification is going to be very important as time goes by, because we're going to be adding more things to the site. Like, for example, when we mentioned in the group section that there's going to be the capability to use Zoom calls and to create Zoom conferences so that you can coordinate efforts with other people and all. Unverified members, won't be able to create those, but verified members will be able to create those. This is my beautiful wife right here, if y'all can see her.
Hey, everyone.
That's Yana. But I think one of the most important parts is going to be the section that we see right here, and this is the group section. Because what the group section is going to do is it's going to allow us to join groups and to create groups of people in our people in our general area. And this goes back to how I'm trying to tie everything in for us. And what I mean is, for example, you got Texas right here and you got Alabama right here. They're pretty far apart, But I'd mentioned earlier that I'm going to be getting my ham license soon, and I'm going to be teaching those classes on here for free. So that means you'll be able to get your certification. You'll just have to take the test. And the proceeds from this site, a lot of people ain't going to believe me, but you'll see that this is true. The proceeds from this site are going to help develop this network. Because if we have all 50 states, if we have members in all 50 states, and we're able to generate enough proceeds to make sure that we have ham radios in those areas that these particular groups are in, then we have nationwide communication when the rest of the nation doesn't. This is a chance for us to truly build a network that's gonna last, not a fly by night like, this is fun for a week. No, I'm talking about something that when the collapse does happen, we've got more than just a little food and water in our house. We've got several thousand people that we're meeting up with that are all armed, ready. They're all well fed, they're all ready to go. And we've been communicating. So we know who is good at what, who needs help in this area. And that's what this site is all about, is us helping each other and getting together. A lot of channels and a lot of my videos, I'm always saying, we need a group. We need groups, but it's not so easy to just walk down the road and, create a prepper group. I mean, it's just not that easy. But this gives us the chance, if we take it seriously and really run with it, that we can create a nationwide group here, a nationwide group that is in communication, and that when things go bad, then we have help all around us, and not just in a world-ending catastrophe. Think about some of the natural disasters occur. If there's a bad disaster, a hurricane comes through, part of our group is in that general area, or they're getting on the ham radio saying, hey, we need some clean water. Well, then we go help them. They've got help, just like we would have help, if we needed it. And that's what this is about. It's not just, I don't want it just to be a Facebook-like site that we just run our mouth a little bit. I'm thinking that we can truly create a network that in the end could save a lot of lives. And if we think about it like this, if society does collapse, we will have the numbers to rebuild it the right way, to rebuild it better. But we can't do that if we don't start now. All right. You don't know how to search for people. Okay. I do have to make a couple of things that I noticed I left off, like the up top right here. There's supposed to be a tab that says members. And I'm going to put that tab on there in just a minute. And that members page will take you directly to the members page, and it'll allow you to search by name or by location and find members. But so far with the groups, we've got, I'm going to put them in alphabetical order. I've got every state created. And I also have some other groups that I think would be beneficial, like alternative energy here. Those that are pretty good with solar power, or, other types of alternative energy. We can put documents in there. We can have videos. We can go in that group and we can have a Zoom call. Imagine how handy that would be. You're trying to set up your solar system and the instructions are in Chinese, whatever, they don't make sense. Instructions aren't always that good. Do a Zoom call with one of your friends here, and maybe they can walk you through some of the steps because you can show them with your phone. There's so much potential that we can do with this. We can become a nation, basically. We can support each other and help each other. And when times really do get hard, we have the numbers. We have the numbers now. And, I just feel like this is going to benefit everybody. I feel like it's going to benefit everybody. I feel like there's going to be so much more resources because I'm going to show you some of the resources that I'm going to be slowly adding, as time permits. I'm going to be slowly adding some more. But in the group section, if there are any groups, for example, if you come up with the idea for a group, that you want to make, then once again, send me an email, send me a friend request. I hope everybody sends me a friend's request, and send me a message there about what type of group you'd like, and I'm going to put it up for you. And we're going to make sure we have everything we need, because as of right now, without anything else adding on here, we have the ability to post news, to post information about whatever we need to talk about. I can say vaccine and don't get it on here. I can say whatever, whatever I want, basically. And of course, we want to keep it family friendly. We don't want to turn into some crazy site, but we can talk about the subjects that we can talk about. And I think it's going to go, it's going to be pretty good. I think everybody's hopefully will find this very useful. And I think it will help, a lot of people along the way. All right. So let me go ahead. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to keep sharing my screen, but I'm going to log out, and I'm going to go ahead and create and add the members tab up here so that you can add, so that you will be able to search members by location and all that. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on this permanent domain. And then that way, once it's on this permanent domain, we can all, who hasn't tried it yet, we can go through the login procedure. We can go through the login procedure and make sure that everybody's got it good. All right. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and straighten out this menu, because I see what I did. I got groups there and groups there. So I should have actually, had two separate groups. Now, while we're here, to look at a couple of the things that I'm going to be adding onto the site pretty soon. We got much more security that I'll be putting in, but most of the security, most people are never going to see. It's just going to be the behind the scenes stuff that keeps somebody from getting in here. Things on the site are encrypted, and the encryption that I'm going to be adding, every email you send on this site is encrypted from point to point within the site. So it's going to be as safe as it can be. It's going to be as safe as it can be. Let me find the right one here. Menus. All right, so I'm going to add this menu, and then I'm going to change the domain to what it should be. And the name of that domain, I'm going to go ahead and type it in here, but give it a couple minutes before you try it until I change it. SeriousSurvivors.com. All right. Now I'm fixing to change that right on over as soon as I change this menu. All right, just 1 second here. And I'm going to remove this one. And I'm going to add this one. All right, so that should show up. And now I'm going to actually have to go back a steps, put the proper domain on here. I'm a reseller for GoDaddy too, so if anyone needs a website or something, I can get it for you at straight up wholesale cost. Save you a little bit of money if you're into that kind of thing. All right, so let me make sure I'm on the right page. No, manage all. All right. Okay. So here should be going live here in just a minute. All right. Go ahead. Get off there. Oh, right here. Connect domain. Hopefully, I'm hoping it'll go through because I upgraded my SSL, my security certificate earlier today, and sometimes that takes a few hours, and that's why I still had it on that temporary domain. But it looks like it's going to go right on through, and we'll know here in just a second. All right. So now I'm going to view the site, make sure everything works pretty good. All right. It may take a few hours because I'm noticing up here, you can't see it for this live thing, but it's still loading. I'm going to go ahead and paste this for those that aren't able to see it up there. So it may take just a few minutes or a few hours before that funny name actually turns into SeriousSurvivors.com. So it's working for you, DB? Great. All right, so now I'm going to log out and create a new account. So that way we just go through that little process in case anybody has any questions about it. All right. Now notice how I'm going to fix this because I just added these. These aren't showing up. I want to point something out. When someone is not logged in to the website, they will not see any button up across the top except for login, because I'm going to take those off in a little bit. We're just going live with it. So that way, when someone comes to this site, they cannot get past this page without logging in. There will be no other options, by later on tonight when I get back in here and take those off. Those will still appear on your menus inside the site, but all they will see will be login. So the login process, you click login and it's going to take you here. Now, right now, I don't have it set up for the phone number and email verification, but it will be after a couple of days. All right. So I'm going to go to register here, and you'll come to a screen like this. Badger, I could definitely use some help. Because I really want everyone's opinion, on this. I mean, I want people to say, hey, you should have added this page too, or you should add this feature, because I want this site to be basically a site that you can go to and you can get all the information you need. You can perform all the tasks you need. I want it to be like that. I want it to have everything you would need to learn about any skill you want to learn, to network with other people. The Zoom calls we talked about within the groups, I think that's going to be really big, because we can't always just drive 100 miles, for a 1 hour meeting. We can now, use the Zoom calls, which that'll be by next Friday. But we'll be able to use the Zoom calls to communicate. And actually, because it's a little easier to get to know somebody when you're at least talking to them on a Zoom call than it is through an email. And I know me personally, I feel more comfortable meeting someone that I've at least seen here, on that. But I just think it would be handy. All right. So now when you go to log in, now all these social networks are just in case you want to share the site. And please share it, because we need as many people as we can get. The vetting process after Monday, start Monday morning, the vetting process is going to be a little stricter than it is right tonight, because I know y'all, it's going to be a little stricter. So, I mean, there will even be some people here or there that I'm not going to let in if I think they're going to cause trouble. I'll tell you, part of the vetting process that'll be used starting Monday is when people put in their email. I have a program that searches, it doesn't search their email, but it compares their email to see if it's associated with things like Antifa, with groups like that. So it gives us an idea right off the bat. I don't see any personal information or nothing, but it gives me an idea of what kind of groups that this person is already in on social media. And, for most people, that's not going to be an issue. But, if we see something that's like, this guy's in Antifa and, doing all this pictures of him at the riots, yeah, we probably don't, I probably don't want to let him in. But basic stuff, username, you can create any username you want. You can have spaces in it if you want to have spaces in it. Email address is required. Password is required. Of course, you can have a password as simple as this. I can say I just want 12 to be my password. And if I say yes, I have to check a box right here that says, I confirm I know I'm using a very weak password and somebody could very well hack it. So, just like any password, we want to make it as strong as we can. All right, so I'm just going to create a random name here. And, I'm going to call myself Donkey Kong. Y'all remember that game, Donkey Kong? And let's see, I think I have an email address that I'm not using in there. I'll use that one. And I'm just going to do a random password. It says it's very weak. I'm going to confirm that. And then I hit it. That's all that does is hide it. All right. And then name. You can use this is up to you. This is the site. I'm trying to keep it as private as I can so that outsiders do not have access to it. But, if you don't want to use you don't have to put your whole name. I'm going to put my whole name in there because, I guess I just want people to know who I really am. And my name is Luke Arledge. All right. So now I'm going to complete the sign up by clicking on complete sign up. All right. And now it tells me to activate. That has nothing to do with it there. That was just a warning telling me that was not a good password. Now I'm going to save it, but I'm on the wrong page again. All right. All right. So now it basically tells me to check my email. So I'm going to just pull up my email over here. And if I go in my email, I can see I got to change accounts. No, that's the right one. All right. Now I can see in my email, it did not go. It may be over here in my, it may not be here yet. Inbox. Let me resend it and type in the right email because it should have come right on over. Just send it to my email. I guess I have to give it a second, but it'll come right to your email and it may be in your spam, but I don't see mine coming through at all. I think I use, all right. Let me try this then. I'm going to try to log in because I want to see make sure I use the right email. All right, let's get in there, log in. And yeah, I'm going to have to resend my email. And now I'm going to check it again. No, I think I may have selected the wrong email. All right, I'm going to start over. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, I'm sitting here. I built a website, but I can't even get in it now. All right, I'm just going to re-register because I didn't have my glasses on, and I'm thinking that I clicked one of my alternate emails that I didn't know. All right, so I'm going to just use the same one. This time I'm going to use an email address that I know should work. All right. we go. Oh, my username was already used. All right, now here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to check my email on the other site, and hopefully it should be there. I've got way too many email addresses. And let's see if it came here. New admin email address. Maybe in my bulk inbox. All right, there we go. Okay. All right. Well, let me reload it. Okay. Yeah, it's not gonna let me sign in on that temporary one. Y'all are having it. Y'all are getting in there easier than I am. All right. That's a little yeah. Sorry about that, but I've used a lot of my emails already on here, and I think that might be what the problem is. So I'm just going to log in on my regular one here. All right. So once you do log back in, it's going to take you straight to your profile, and from there, you can begin to put pictures, do whatever you need to do. All right, and I want to test out the members up here and make sure that the members notification did come up here. Profile activity. Yep, members right there. So I'm on the members page, and this would be what the members page looks like. And here we can see, the people who have decided to make their profile public. And I'm going to add a couple of friends here if y'all don't mind. So I'm going to send some friend requests out. All right, and I'm going to accept the ones that were sent to me. Accept and accept. All right. And that's just a quick rundown of it. The whole goal, I'll be honest, the whole goal is so that we truly can, as opposed to just randomly message and all, that as the groups increase, as more members join each state group, then each state group is going to need a leader. They're going to need an administrator of that group. So if you're in a state group right now, for your state or whatever, and you feel like you would like to, take on the role of, the administrator of that group so that you could maybe, if somebody's causing trouble, you can kick them out, or you can post, you get to approve things. And you also, as an administrator of the group, you'll get to create subgroups within that groups without asking for my approval, or administrator approval, I should say. So if anybody's interested, in taking charge of the group for your state, just send me a message and we'll get that approved, and we'll make sure you got all the tools you need to do it. And that's basically, I think it's pretty easy to use, but some of the things that we're going to be incorporating into it very soon, like I had talked about, does the layout look good? I mean, it's a really basic, simple layout. I didn't want to overcomplicate it with a lot of crazy stuff, but I'm hoping that, everybody, DB volunteered prepper trucking, but I wanted to, just make sure that it was easy to use, but still, still looks good. It's got to look good. I mean, I don't want it to be just terrible looking. So if there's any suggestions, that people have, anything, let's hear them. I'm all ears about it. And like I said, this ain't my site. This is our site. This is the way that we are going to create networks so that when things do go bad, we can rely on each other. Because like I said right at the beginning of the video, the ultimate survival tool, the best survival tool you could ever have is us. It's you and it's me. It's friends. It's people that we can count on. Because in the end, it really doesn't matter how many supplies you got if you're stuck alone by yourself and you've got nowhere to go and no idea how to get there. But you could actually survive without much if you got people you can count on and people that can count on you. And that's what this is all about. It's about us. It's about people. It's about helping who we can, and it's about, just surviving, I guess, surviving and making survival as easy as possible, because we're going to be able to talk about, well, if the grid does go down, yeah, I've got solar panels right here, but what are we going to do, 3 months from now, 6 months from now? And that's the things that we need to talk about is what are we going to do to rebuild? We can all survive. I mean, we can all survive. We've got self-defense methods. We've got supplies. But what are we going to do 6 months from now? We don't want to just keep surviving. We want to, thrive. We want to live. We want to make sure that if we have to rise out of the ashes and rebuild, that we do it and we get it done so that our kids, our grandkids, they don't have to fight the same that we're having to fight right now, and the fight that we're going to have to fight probably pretty soon. And, I really hope it helps. And remember, y'all know I don't ask for money, but there is that donate button, and that does help us get these apps on here, because they are a little bit on the expensive side, and any little bit will help. And, it will be greatly appreciated, because realistically, you're investing in yourself if you invest in the site, because this is our site, and this site is going to coordinate us all in times of need. And it doesn't have to be world ending, hurricanes, tornadoes, bad things happen. We're going to be there for you. And that's what we need to do. That's what we need to be, is like one big family. And if we do this right, when the time comes, we will have the numbers. We'll have the supplies, and we'll have the organization. So this is it's going really good. I got a lot of classes that I want to teach on here, and that's basic electricity, basic electronics. I want to teach those, and when I get my ham license certification, I'm going to be teaching that class. So if there's anybody else out there that's got some skills they would like to pass on and share, let's talk about it, and let's get this going on some live streams or Zoom conferences. There's going to be a lot more coming. Oh, and one more thing too, I do have a program through Google Ads that it monetizes the site, but it gives you the ability, if you check yes or no, once I put this program into action, you check yes, you want to monetize your page, then you get paid for the ads on your page. So, I mean, that's a little ways off, because that takes a lot of integration, but that just gives you a chance to make a few extra dollars here and there, while we're making ourselves better all the time. I mean, this is, I feel like personally, this is something that the prepping community has needed. A lot of people talk about groups, and a lot of people talk about it, and I talk about it all the time, but it's hard to do. But now we have a way to do it. We have a way to do it, and we have a way to make it work. And we got some good people in here that can help make this happen. And we can turn this into a community that doesn't just save our life, but we can turn this into a community that changes the world. So this could be something really great for all of us. And I hope it is, I really hope it is. All right. So I'm going to call it a night here. I don't want to take up too much of your time on Saturday night. I know y'all probably got things to do, but share the site and explore it. I'm probably going to take the rest of the night off. So, I'm not going to be on here after this, but I will be back on tomorrow. That's right. Trust no one. Unity is the key. I mean, if we can't stand together, we're going to fall. And that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. We got to stand side by side. We got to stand up for each other. And, we just got to be there. You know what they say, 90% of life is showing up. And that's what we're doing now. We're showing up and we're making this work. So, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Let me know any issues that come across the site, and definitely anybody out there that's got some ideas, or you like to code, you like to do things like that, holler at me, because there's plenty that can be done. Because it's up and running, but it's got a lot more that I want to put on here, a lot more, and so hope y'all. All right, sounds good, Badger. Yes. All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoys your evening. Really hope you have a great weekend. And to get back to one of the comments early in the video, yeah, that's the 308. That's my new 308. I'll be taking it out Monday morning, going shooting there. And I think somebody mentioned something about this, and I'm going to do a little video on this. Let me go ahead and do a little video on this right here. For those of you that recognize this, that's a Glock 17, and this is called a MCK, micro conversion kit. Your Glock pops right up in it, and I got a red dot and a laser sight on the top of it here, but never shot one of these before. Just got it a few weeks back. I'll let you know how it goes Monday night because I'm going to be shooting it Monday morning. Probably too much, but that's okay. I need to go out and shoot it. All right. Well, God bless y'all. I appreciate you showing up. And thanks for supporting the channel. Because this is going to help us all. This is really going to help us all in more ways than one, I believe. And so I do want y'all to know that watching the videos and all, it really means a lot, and I really do appreciate it. And you got a friend in me. God bless. And for now, Serious Survivor out.